Hello, everybody. Welcome to our, I guess you can say, Super Bowl Sunday edition of the Wrestling Fans Insight. We are recording episode 47 here live on Twitter Space in the studios of the Fans of Pro Wrestling.
Studios.
Hey, now. Okay, I should just say wrestling room because it's not a damn studio. But thanks a lot, Carlos. Thanks for belittling my self-esteem. What I have left.
Would you like me to soundproof it for you?
No. We've had enough soundproof moments every time we've recorded.
Do you have some championship belts up in there? They don't consider it a studio like everybody else does.
Oh, they're here.
You have some championship belts in okay, then it's a studio.
Have I not shown you some of my pictures of those?
No.
Oh,
Yeah, no, there's like 12 belts behind me.
well,
Oh, Jesus.
not quite 12. There's 4.
Oh, no, I saw the one. Your wife has the WWE title, so yeah, I already knew you guys had that one, I guess.
Yeah, there's
You have the
11.
winged belt, don't you? The winged one? You have the winged belt?
There's
Yeah.
11 belts.
There's 11 belts.
Oh,
Yeah.
my goodness.
Yeah. Although I'm probably going to look at ditching a couple and going to the official replicas now that AEW is finally getting into that business. Because
If you ever sell any, let me know. I might want one.
All right, you got it.
You're going to get that Intercontinental one that's $999.
Oh, my God.
What?
The one that I would like to get is the one that I love is the NXT. I love the NXT UK title. I think that's a beautiful belt.
And see, I was trying to win that on a Facebook contest from the guy who has been doing a lot of the belt work for WWE and AEW, as well as New Japan Pro Wrestling. He had a whole bunch of new titles from the NXT brand and the WWE brand, and I tried so hard to win the NXT UK
That's a beautiful belt. I love that belt.
I actually like NXT UK's tag team championships definitely over the.
They're nice, yeah.
Definitely better than the NXT tag team championships that we see carrying by Gallus right now. I don't know. For some reason, those belts are just too basic on the regular brand. It just, to me, they could have went a little bit better.
All their tag belts are basic in WWE.
Yeah.
Basic bitch titles. Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't really care for the network logo belts. They just, to me, it was just kind of lazy work, in my opinion. I'm not taking away the credit of the person who created those, because I know they probably spent a lot of time and hard work to make those, but I just think WWE kind of went away from giving a shit about their championships, the way their championships look, I'm sorry. But yeah, definitely if it comes down to where I need to get rid of a couple of belts, I'll give you a holler for sure.
Sounds good.
But anyhow, yeah, we kind of went off the course a little bit.
I know. By the way, I'm Carlos.
Yeah, we're sorry. We're just here and having our normal bullshit moments. So
you guys are all watching Super Bowl anyway, so you know.
Well, that's true. Fuck the little table of contents or syllabus or whatever we're supposed to go by. But anyhow, on a more serious note, we kind of want to send our well wishes to our co-host who is missing, Heather. She had a bit of a family situation early this week, and she's probably going to be taking some time off. How long, we don't know, but I did ask her to take the time that she needs. And for those of you who actually know Heather and been giving her the well wishes, thank you. That means so much to her. She's came and talked to us a little bit yesterday and told us how much she appreciates everybody that's communicated with her and gave her well wishes as well. So Heather, please, like I said before, take all the time you need. Your spot's always right here waiting for you, and we look forward to having you back with us when you're ready. On that note, I'm joined by my co-host, William. He's here. He looks a little bit better than last week, even though I didn't see him last week. So.
Yeah, you certainly didn't see him last week.
Exactly.
Ooh, we're going right for the jugular already. He's pulling a JC Jane on me, so...
Hey.
I'm sorry. Don't give me that look. But you feeling better?
Yeah, I'm doing okay now. Just I'm on a different schedule at work because we're out a lot of our management team. So I'm working late hours.
Fun times, and the truck's all fixed and ready to rock and roll for you.
That whole situation, I don't even want to talk about. I'm pissed about that.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Did you bring your truck here?
Yeah, it's here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, as long as it's working and you got a ride, that's all that matters. So
No, it runs great.
Sweet. Yeah, and Carlos is with us today. How you doing, brother?
Good, I'm good.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed. I'm a little bummed. I'm a little bummed I got to work today, but it is what it is.
Don't be poking the
Someone's
bear here,
life.
John.
I know, right?
We'll wait till we get to the AEW segment, but anyways.
I got the ground now, too.
Oh. Well, we thank all of you for tuning in, listening to us each and every week. This week it's pretty basic. Nothing real big happened. So we're just going to cover the WWE and AEW programming for last week, which I believe was February 6th through the 10th. So let's get right to it for the WWE side on Monday Night Raw. Elimination Chamber qualifier, Damian Priest defeats Angelo Dawkins. Dexter Lumis defeats Baron Corbin. Carmella making her in-ring return, defeating the individuals of Piper Niven, Mia Yim, and Candice LeRae, which was a fatal four-way for the Women's Elimination Chamber qualifier. We had the team of Cedric Alexander and Shelton Benjamin defeat Alpha Academy. Asuka defeating Chelsea Green, making her Raw debut. Well, I should say in-ring debut. Sorry, folks. I know someone's going to come up my DMs. She was there last week, you dumbass. And in the final Elimination Chamber qualifier, Montez Ford defeats Elias. And the main event, for the a steel cage match, Becky Lynch gets her revenge and defeats Bayley. For NXT, Zoe Stark defeating Sol Ruka, Dakota Kai, Jesus.
Dabba-Kato.
I'm reading too fast, I'm sorry. Dabba-Kato defeats Dante Chen. Isla Dawn defeating Tatum Paxley. Carmelo Hayes in a hell of a match against JD McDonough. Lyra Valkyria defeating Valentina Feroz. Channing Stacks Lorenzo, quit shaking your head at me, defeating Odyssey Jones. And those bum-looking Pretty Deadly defeating Chase U. For the SmackDown, the team of Sheamus and Drew McIntyre defeating Hit Row. Lacey Evans kills some jobber, Carmen Herrera, or whatever her name is. For the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Usos retain over Ricochet and Braun Strowman. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez defeat the team of Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville. And in a fatal four-way where the winner becomes the number one contender for the Intercontinental Championship, in what I call the upset of the week, Madcap Moss defeating Rey Mysterio Jr., Karrion Kross, and Santos
Escobar. A little color does in your life, a little color can do for your life.
What did you say?
I said, see what a little color can do for your life?
Oh, boy. Were you staring too hard at that color is my question?
Nah. I mean, I hate the face, but yeah, and I was just like, really? I was just laughing, like, oh, color trunks and I win. Woo.
Well, I think last week we started with... Oh, actually, Will wasn't here last week, so... This week,
start with Will.
Yeah, let's start with Will on this week's WWE programming.
Oh, gee, I don't feel targeted now. Anyways. Give me a second. Raw was, well, WWE in general this week was just, it's kind of like you said, it was a good week, but it was just not much. Damian Priest versus Dawkins. I think it was a really good match for the both of them. They both showed out for it. It's been mentioned before. I think all of us are really just kind of disappointed with what's going on with Corbin. Dexter Lumis, of course, I'm happy you got the win. Carmella. This was a really strong match for her. All the ladies did really good. I just hope she's able to keep that momentum going. She's always been pretty talented compared to when she first started. Alpha Academy versus, I'm saying it, the Hurt Business. It was a good match. Sorry. I'm over here dying. Chelsea Green versus Asuka. I didn't write anything much about this besides crap tap, waste of time match.
Can I speak to your manager?
You can go ahead and talk to me. I'm my manager.
Oh boy.
No, I don't think it had what it needed in order for Chelsea to really push her character as the Karen. Montez Ford versus Elias. It was a good solid match. Bailey versus Becky Lynch in the cage. This was probably my favorite match of the night. Welcome back, Lita. It was cool to see her come out. But really, overall, it didn't have a whole lot of momentum behind the night. NXT. Soroka versus Stark. I thought that was a pretty good match. I like where they're going with Zoe Stark. I just hope that the championship is in sight sometime soon.
Well, sorry to interrupt. I think that's pretty much the really only true competitor for the NXT Women's Championship at the moment.
Yeah, she's been killing it, and I don't want to say anything like mean about Roxanne. I just don't think it was the right time to put it on her. I think it should have been Zoe.
Well, and who knows what would have happened if it wasn't the plan for probably them canning Mandy Rose. Because I'm sure that was all planned out, ready to go.
Yeah. Dabakato, a.k.a. Commander Aziz, versus Dante Chen. I think this is the second time I've seen Dante Chen. I'm over the squish matches. I'm just over them. Abaddon versus Tatum Paxley. It was an okay match. I think Paxley's doing a lot better. It seems like she's getting more solid with her in-ring skills. Killer match between Carmelo Hayes and JD McDonough. I did not expect anything less. Both of these guys are just a couple of my favorites. For Royce versus Lyra Valkyria, wasn't much behind it. It was an okay match. I really want to see more happen for Royce in case her tag team partner's out for an extended time. Stacks versus Odyssey Jones. This one surprised me, but it was a good match, and I think it's big for Stacks the way he's going. Ever since they made him underboss.
Well, I'm having a hard time with D'Angelo and Stacks. Are they supposed to be faces, heels, tweeners? Because
I would put them as tweeners.
Because you had them taunting Dijak, now you had them going to match up against Odyssey Jones.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm unsure where they're trying to go with that duo.
Yep, I'm not sure either. I would honestly say that they're tweeners, but I am loving what I'm seeing out of Stacks. Chase U versus Pretty Deadly. I thought they were really creative with this match. I thought it was pretty entertaining. SmackDown. Hit Row versus the team of Shaymac. That's right, I said it. This is just kind of a weird...
Banger Bros!
No, damn it. We already got enough copyright troubles going on. We don't need that shit, Carlos. Jeez.
Banger after banger after banger.
Oh my god. This was just a weird match to me. It was a quick squash match. I did not enjoy it. Lacey Evans versus Carmen Harris. Again, back-to-back, just quick squash match. The Monsters versus the Usos for the tag champ. It was a good match. The Usos are always solid, and I am a fan of Braun, but I feel like he's kind of got stagnant with his in-ring, and I'd like to see him improve a lot more. Get some more
Well, the hard thing with big guys like that is they're not going to be as athletic as the smaller guys.
No, they're not.
But they need to be booked more as attractions rather than as every show talent, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, either his repertoire of moves needs to increase, or like you said. But I mean, realistically, the only big guy I've really seen that's surprised the crap out of me has been Wardlow. Just some of the things he can do just blow me away.
Brian Cage. Come on.
Wow. Someone's got to throw in their 2 cents today.
Hey, Carlos.
What?
It's my time.
Damn. Was it just a mute button on me? Cute.
Wow. Oh.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, anyways, the women's tag match, Raquel and Liv come out on top. It was a decent match. I just think they're still kind of pooping on certain women within the company. And I'm just kind of tired of seeing it because we know what Sonya can do. That Fatal 4-Way, I think that was my match of the week for WWE. It was a really, really great match. The two people that I really want to focus on this match was Santos Escobar and Madcap Moss. They really showed out in this, and I really appreciated that they gave Moss the win.
All right. And Carlos, you want to throw your 2 cents in again?
My 4 cents, maybe. I mean, can you guys talk about the interview segments on these shows? I mean, those are like the best things. I'm like, you guys just passed up all the good shit. My goodness.
Well, that's why we got theater experts like you on here. So,
okay. So first of all, I loved the whole opening segment with Edge and Beth, and then with the bloodline. I mean, not with the bloodline, but the Judgment Day, and then I liked how the Montez came down and threw Dominic back in the ring, and then Dom got the glam slam, and then mommy, like I thought she was so funny, like that was like to me like that's like what WWE does best is like great sports entertainment. Like again, I thought that whole segment was just really done well in the very beginning. And it was just, again, when he's yelling for mommy, before he's getting glam slam, I just thought it was so fucking hilarious. Damian Priest and Dawkins, they both looked really strong in this match. The right person did win. I'm glad they gave Carmella back her Queen of Staten Island, gimmick, because I love that Carmella the best. And I thought all the women looked good in the match. I would have liked to see Piper win, but again, I'm glad to see Carmella get the win. My one thought about Baron Corbin is please don't try to turn him face. Like they've already done this with the Miz. Like he's just one of those. And speaking of the Miz, I wouldn't mind seeing the two of them form a tag team because I feel like they've both been kind of mistreated. So I wouldn't mind the storyline going towards like Miz and Corbin teaming up together because they just feel disrespected. I love Chelsea Green's Karen character. I think she's killing it. I agree with you. The match didn't do any good because it didn't make any sense that Asuka would be down on the floor for like 90 seconds after one little hit. So that didn't make any sense for the match booking. But I do like that. I do think that Chelsea deserves the time she's getting because she's doing a really good job with this character. And let's talk about the promo between Cody and Paul. I mean, my God. I mean, I was so glued to my TV that whole time. And there will be no backlash from this after that. That promo was such a good thing, and to me, like, I'm like, after that promo, like, I'm excited for this Saturday, but I'm excited to see Cody versus Roman. I think they just killed it, and just that line about him being the son he always wanted. They both killed it, and just hearing I shared the back notes from Sean Ross Sapp and just how it was just the two of them putting that together. I think that was just really amazing. Promo, a big win for Montez Ford. I want to see him win the U.S. title at Elimination Chamber, and I would like to see him defend it into a ladder match at Mania. I like a good ladder match with 6 strong competitors at Mania. I think it does really good. And then the one thing about the main event is I thought it was a good match. But for me, it's like with Becky and Lita, like, so they've made up after their match at Crown Jewel. Like, I don't really understand how Lita's coming out to help her after those two were at each other's throats. And then again, I wouldn't mind if we got Bayley and Lita at Mania, but I think it's really cool. The rumor is that we're going to see the Becky, Lita, and Trish against Damage Control at Elimination, which I think would be cool. For NXT, I really enjoy Zoe Starks versus Sol Ruca. I agree. I think Zoe's being groomed to challenge Roxanne, but I think Zoe's going to do the favors to Roxanne. Then I see her getting the call up after a Stand and Deliver. And I like that Sol Ruca looks strong in the defeat. And again, I love her finisher. I thought the Dollar Kato match was a really good match. I thought Dante Chen did a really good job of making him look good. I honestly had Dollar Kato in my top 10 before I decided I wanted to put another woman here. But I like his finisher. I thought he really looked good in there. I don't like the change in attitude for Carter and Chance, like we were talking about offline. It's just this was a bad week for tag team wrestling, and it's like don't turn the one girl who I feel like can go and challenge Ronda and Shayna for the tag titles, who they're uncrowned champions. I think they'd be really good underdog faces to challenge them. So I really hope they're not going to turn them heel. Carmelo and JD, of course, they're gonna blow it out the roof. And again, it was a really good win for Carmelo. I love the video package they showed for Wes Blake, and again, I want to see him as a future NXT champion. If Carmelo does win the title, I definitely wouldn't mind seeing Wes Blake eventually be the one to take it off of him. Again, pretty deadly. I said this last week, but I'm going to just echo it again. They're ready for the main roster. I thought, the work they did with being exhausted and just everything else, they put it off so well. So for the main event segment, I hated it. I pissed me off so much that they're splitting up Toxic Attraction. The main roster needs more women tag teams together, and I feel like they shouldn't have been called. They shouldn't have broke them up. They should have just been called up. And then with these women, I don't see either of these women being a singles competitor of substance. I don't think either one of them is going to be the face of the women's division. So why do this? It's just stupid. And I feel like Brian Atkins pointed out, the hype that pointed out that it was a callback to the barbershop. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it just irritated me so much. Like, Chad Frost needs to get out of his looking at those old matches to come up with some storylines for his people. I'm over it. The Rock was right. So for SmackDown, I thought that was a good opening promo between Paul Heyman and Sammy. Again, to me, like, Sammy looks like a man. He doesn't look like a little bitch, like he was to the bloodline. So I think that I thought it was really good. But again, I don't, if he was fighting Roman on a different night, but I'm ready for, again, I'm excited for the pay-per-view or premium live event. But again, it was a good segment. The opening match, I'm over the top dollar slander from Michael Cole. I feel, to me, like, I put this on Twitter. I feel like it's borderline bullying at this point. And I just feel like they need to stop it. I don't like it at all. I'm over development talent being utilized on SmackDown so frequently with the women. Again, why couldn't Aaliyah, you had nothing for Aaliyah. Why couldn't Aaliyah be in a feud with Lacey Evans right now? Get these women something better and let them spotlight. Let them have the spotlight. The Viking Raiders promo package was good. Looking forward to the match between them and Sheamus and Drew. Bang Brothers and Bang Bros next week. Banger Bros. And then the tag team title match was a lot of fun. Again, to me, like, I want to see main event Jey Uso back. Again, he's so over like Rover, and again, but that could be something that eventually happens. But just even Jimmy too. Like, let both these guys have their thing. But for me, I love the closing sequence. How Jimmy put his knees up, and then they went straight into the Usos, the splash onto Ricochet, and again, Ricochet made them look really good. The one thing for me is I feel like I've seen Ricochet and Braun lose enough leading up to Mania, and I think it's just enough losing for those guys. This crowd sucked. Besides the bloodline stuff, like the crowd's been trained to only pop for certain things, and I thought it was funny how they went to the crowd for reactions for Braun and Ray's entrances, and it was just like crickets. The women's tag match was entertaining. I think Raquel should stay in the women's tag team division for right now because she's really good in it. And I think she makes it worth any partner that she has. And again, she's a good tag team wrestler, and I was just like, what am I seeing her stay in the tag division and building that up? And again, the whole closing segment with, Madcap Moss, and I agree with what Will said. I think Madcap and Santos balls out in this event. And I just love seeing the fire of Madcap Moss. You know, getting some color trunks got him his mojo back. You know, and he just reminds me like a mojo ride, just the hype, you know, thing going. And then Will has shared a statement with with Legato and Race sharing, exchanging masks they had on the online exclusive. And again, I'm intrigued by that. You know, I'm being Hispanic, I would love to see some good Hispanic faces. And I would be intrigued if they turn Legato face and have them going after Imperium or something on SmackDown. So that's all I got for this week of WWE.
Awesome. Yeah, I know Carlos just thumped us for not really talking about interview and promo segments. I guess it's kind of out of my element.
Yeah, that's kind of somewhere that I'm in the gray on, just because I'm not that big on drama, and I'm just, the storytelling thing is something that's been groomed out of me because of my line of work.
Oh, for me, I know someone griped about it. You can't just put two guys in the ring and then it's entertaining. Well, yeah, you can. I mean, it's not like boxing really used to have that.
But like, to me, like the thing for me though, like it's like, again, if someone was listening to this podcast trying to find out what happened this week in WWE, I feel like the recaps they just kind of forgot some important things that were intertwined into what's going on with the storylines in WWE right now.
Well, and that's why we got you, because you're good on that. I suck at them.
Yeah,
I'll admit it. I suck at them.
Yeah, no, and again, for me, it's just like even like the whole Edge thing really made me sentimental for like, if this is gonna be Edge's last year, But again, if it is, let him turn heel and go after Cody and be that Edge, But like, that's just really, it just made me a lot, just really appreciative of him and Beth, and seeing Beth, just how she comes out, like let her have another run too, But no, that was just. It's just the storytelling. That's what WWE does really good, man. And it's like it's just like the whole thing with Cody and Paul was like, my God. And it is that thing that the AEW is missing a little bit, But at the same time, that is what WWE does really good. And from that one promo, they sold me on WrestleMania, and I cannot wait to see that match.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, man.
Yeah,
and they're just and I just like when they do pull back the curtain and make it personal and sharing the things about his dad and stuff like that. It's like. Again, as a fan, like that's why we go even Twitter and stuff like that. We want to feel part of it, and in doing that just does pull those heartstrings. It was just really well done.
Yeah, and that was probably definitely one of the best promos we've seen in Raw for quite some time. I mean, as personal as it got. I mean, even at some points you saw Heyman get emotional when they were talking about Dusty and how pretty much Heyman was the savior of their lives because Dusty was struggling.
Gave him back his confidence,
It was actually my favorite moment since the Eddie Kingston Dream Match speech.
Oh, well, that wasn't too long ago, though.
No, it wasn't.
I mean...
But for WWE, it's been a long time since we had a moment like this, though.
Yeah, I mean, other than the Bloodline, who have delivered phenomenal promos after promo after promo, I mean, this one was pretty damn good. Where it didn't involve really, except for Paul Heyman, any of the Bloodline. It involved more Cody's story and his journey to the WWE Championship, something that none of any of the Rhodes family members have held.
Coming the third hour, Paul Heyman and Cody Rhodes sound off. Like, it was cool because it was unexpected too. Like, those are the best moments in wrestling when we don't know what's coming.
Exactly.
Are you there?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, now I can.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened. More technical difficulties with Twitter Spaces. And anyhow, what was I talking about now? I forgot.
You need to read your WWE recap or whatever.
Oh, yeah. I'm not really going to say a whole lot because I think you two covered all the WWE pretty well. I didn't really get to see a whole lot with NXT. I did get the results written down, but Hulu, for whatever reason, seems to be the cheap bastards all of a sudden. Just like Heather's mentioned in previous weeks, there was a lot of matches that were cut out, and I'm just sitting here.
Is it like a 60? Is the show 60 minutes?
Yeah, it was like 60 minutes, but here's the kicker. So NXT had a total of 7 matches. You want to know how many they actually had on the Hulu On Demand?
4?
3.
Oh, wow.
It's like, are you shitting me? You really are screwing the wrestling fan over if you want them to keep subscribing to your service. I
Because
just
they want people to watch it live, and but at the same time, but it's on demand. What's the harm in showing the whole thing? That's what I never understood.
well
Even like with Raw, how they cut Raw down to 90 minutes. Why?
well
Why
it's
can't you just show the whole thing? It's stupid.
well not to
I guess it's because they want people to go on the network too. But
well not to
whatever.
mention you have to watch the damn commercials too or the ad breaks.
Oh my god!
That's where it's painful. Is you got to watch
Yeah.
those 3 to 4 minute ad segments, and you're like, oh, just suck it and give them the crotch chop. It just it fucking bugs me. Anyhow, now I'm off my high horse on that. What I was able to catch off NXT, I did enjoy, especially the Carmelo Hayes, that promo that opened up the NXT, except for JD McDonough coming in. I didn't quite get the logistics of that one. I mean, to me, JD McDonough's already had 2 shots at Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
You don't need another one. I'm sorry. You're actually
He's like the Dolph Ziggler of NXT though. They just throw him in there to put on a good match, and he's gonna lose.
well, yeah, but I mean, it's pretty well suited. Well, pretty well played out that Carmelo Hayes is going to be the next challenger for Braun Breaker.
Come on.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's just no sense to keep throwing something that Braun Breaker's already defeated in the pathway.
In my opinion of McDonough is, I don't think there's any need for him in NXT anymore.
Well,
I really don't.
I don't either. I think he's been put him with Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Put him in the freaking Judgment Day.
so you guys feel he's ready for main roster?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Heck yeah.
All right. What? No, I just figure I'd ask.
That's again. I feel like a lot of these guys in NXT already, but then that's the big thing they say is, who's going to take their spot? Well, cut some people or put them in NXT like they did Jinder. But I feel like a lot of these guys have earned their call-ups already. No, he has nothing left to prove. He's really good, and he's always puts on a good match, and he does a decent interview. Why not?
Yeah, even the way he does all of his segments, he sells it. He's got it. He's gold.
Yeah, he's got his facials down and everything. He's golden.
And we really don't have.
He's one of those guys where right now, I wish they still had the 205 Live title, the cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Because he could be a cruiserweight champion that go on all brands and be defending the title every week. Like that. He's the reason why they should have never got rid of that title. I wish Triple H would bring it back.
Well, if Creative could get their shit together on the main roster level, I think the cruiserweight should be back. You got enough,
especially on a show where you have 3 hours. With Raw. Why not? If Triple H is all about wrestling, you can easily have matches every week.
Well, and see, you could keep that in the Monday Night Raw brand exclusively.
Absolutely. And then have it go. Or you know what? He could go to NXT too. Why not? Intertwine those 2 shows that USA has rights to. I mean, why not?
Yeah, exactly. I really didn't understand the Toxic Attraction interview at the end. That was just terrible. That should have been more of a before the main event match or somewhere in the middle. But I really didn't.
They quit doing those closing segments with the interviews. The crowd just falls dead every time. It's like, oh my god.
Well, I didn't really like the way it was looking because I think everyone called it when it looked like similar to the barber shop segment when Shawn Michaels threw Marty Jannetty through the window. I'm just like, oh dear God. When I saw the way that went, I'm just like, that was stupid.
So, what's your opinion on this, really? I mean, do you think this was an ego stroke, or do you think it's setting up to maybe go the opposite direction of what happened with Jannetty?
No. I think it was just Shawn Michaels or whoever Creative was trying to recycle an old story, which really that's what a lot of these wrestling storylines you see anymore. I mean, it's like with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Eric Bischoff, they all say, yeah, these storylines aren't always going to be something new. They're going to be recycled from a lot of old storylines. Mm-hmm. To me, some of it, they should not go in the same direction. They should change it up a little bit.
Yeah. I've said it before. I get tired of the stagnant regurgitation of the same thing.
Yeah. Like, I would have went a different direction, like Toxic Attraction. Actually, what I would have done different, I would keep Toxic Attraction together, but they should have attacked Bailey when there was no help for Bailey.
Yeah,
and send a message to Damage Control saying, hey, bitches, we're coming. That's what I would have went different.
And then get standing over him saying ding dong.
Oh, bitch. Yeah, bitch.
Wow, Carlos is getting more and more animated as we progress in these episodes.
Well, no, because it's just like no. The thing that makes me mad too, though, is I feel like they don't reward our fandom. You know, like so to me, like I feel like they think, oh, well, if we break them up and we think on the main roster, we can just put them back together if we want to, and it won't be no big deal. Like because they don't want to reward us fans who actually do watch all the shows. You know, they just think, oh, we can just put them back together if we want to, and it won't be no big deal when they go to the main roster. You know, they don't reward the fans who actually do watch every week. You know. And they just take advantage of us. They just think that we're mindless sheep that they can just control and change the narrative on anytime they want.
How do you really feel?
That's how I feel right there. You know, just like I always feel this, and that's even like right now. It's like the whole thing with Sammy and Jay. It's like you got two guys that are really over that could, you know, and they need strong faces, and they're just kind of shitting on it. You know that these fans have adopted them as favorites, and it's like don't take the fans for granted when they get behind somebody. Like run with it, because you might not get that back again. Look how long it's taken Seth Rollins to come back from being a face after he got ruined by the Fiend. Like don't take the fan reaction for granted, because it's not that easy to get back.
Yeah, I agree. And then probably one of the biggest things I really loved about SmackDown was seeing the Sami Zayn Paul Heyman segment. It was almost a mirror of, I mean, not an exact mirror, but a good mirror of how the segment with Cody Rhodes and Paul Heyman were on Raw. Paul Heyman had no one to help him out. It was very well choreographed. And seeing Sami Zayn meet Jey Uso in the parking lot after the tag title defense, you could see that Jay's like, oh shit. Because, you know, he knows he's in trouble. He knows he's in trouble.
And the closing promo, too, where Paul mentioned, you know, you see things on TV that you might not see with being here. I thought that was really good that they finally acknowledged that shit, you know? Like, that was really well done. Like, all three of those promos were really, really good.
For sure.
Like, Roman wants you to stay home, be the tribal chief, because you see things on TV sometimes that you might not see, you know, here at being in the arena. It was just really well done.
And as far as the whole Lacey Evans deal, I think we need to either have Sergeant Slaughter accompany her to the ring, or we got two options. We need to send her back to NXT and try to reestablish herself, or they need to cut ties with her, and then she can recreate herself elsewhere and get better.
I think you're right about that. I think they've just spent way too many times rebranding, and it's not working.
Well, it's like what I mentioned the other day. I can't remember. I mentioned somebody you didn't. Oh, it was Baron Corbin. You know, WWE. Well, the rumors are WWE is going to cut the whole JBL and Baron Corbin deal. Well, you guys didn't give it a chance. And the problem for Lacey Evans, it's the same thing. She didn't really have a chance, but they moved her up too fast when she was the Southern Belle gimmick. Nobody knew her because nobody was as familiar with when a majority of the NXT talent came up to the main roster.
Thing about Baron... sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, like I personally I'm liking the whole Lacey Evans thing. I think she's a good bitch, and I honestly like her character. The thing about Baron Corbin is he's like, to me, like he's SmackDown. There's just something about when he's on the SmackDown brand, he just does a lot better. Like they should have never even brought him to Raw. They should just kept on SmackDown.
Done.
Like there's just something about the vibe of him being on the Blue brand. Like he's just someone who makes that brand, and it's like they should have given him a chance on there because he already had the history. Like they could have had him feud with Madcap Moss. They could have had him feud with other guys that he had history with on SmackDown. Where you're bringing him out a whole new brand with JBL. Like where's the history? I just didn't make any sense. Like they set him up for failure.
Yeah, they didn't really do him any justice. I think if they would have just kept Corbin having a winning streak, it probably would have definitely went to a different level. But they just started having Corbin lose all of a sudden. Nobody can really explain why. It was like
no one's gonna get behind you if like no one's gonna get behind a new gimmick if you're losing. Like that's there's a reason they need to realize there's a reason why you're feeding Lacey Evans developmental talent So again, why in the contrast you can have Corbin losing every week? It just makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean, they just, to me, they both of those talents have been done dirty.
Maybe the next move is to put a green cape on them.
No.
Oh, good lord. maybe they could be together and be superheroes,
No.
There's a hurricane coming through.
Yeah, there was a hurricane that already came through, and I think it's been done. Hopefully that guy will go back into the hurricane and go away for good after the sale this time. But anyways,
Wow.
yeah, we're going to call it good on this segment. We'll be back in a few minutes. Let's get right into AEW for Dynamite. Starting off, it was a world title eliminator match. MJF defeats Konosuke Takeshita for the for the AEW women's title eliminator match. Jamie Hayter defeats the Bunny. And in the match number 3, I guess you call it the Garcia Guevara Gauntlet.
Hot garbage is what I call it.
Yeah, that was terrible. So Ricky Starks had to defeat 3 members of the Jericho Appreciation Society to have yet another match with Chris Jericho. Unfortunately for Starks, he was able to get the win over Angelo Parker and Matt Menard, but unfortunately for him, Daniel Garcia gets the victory, so there is no match for the future for Ricky Starks and Chris Jericho yet. And in match number 4, Bryan Danielson continues his winning streak, defeating Rush as he's on his way to try to challenge MJF for the AEW World Championship at Revolution. In the Trios Championship, the Elite retain against AR Fox and Top Flight. And in the AEW World Tag Team Championship, I'm laughing as I read this because I can just hear it. The Guns, yes, you heard that right. The Guns become the new AEW World Tag Team Champions, defeating the Acclaimed for Rampage. I was waiting for you to do a little earlier there, but you were like taking your time. But for the Rampage results, the Blackpool Combat Club, which consisted of Moxley, Yuta, and Cesaro.
Mm-hmm.
Claudio. God damn it. Defeating the team of defeats the team of Kip Sabian, the Butcher, and the Blade. Ruby Soho defeats Marina Shafir. Jungle Boy Jack Perry, one of my wife's favorites now, defeats Ryan Nemeth.
Good taste. Good taste, Sarah. Good taste.
She only likes him because he was in our snorkeling excursion for the Jericho cruise.
Sure. Well, shirtless, of course she does. You can't blame the woman.
Yeah. Well, no, you can't. For the All Atlantic Championship, Orange Cassidy retains over Lee Moriarty. And
that didn't have much gusto behind it.
No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna go off on this one. It's like we talked about. Quit putting OC in the main event of all the Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
They stopped for a little bit and then they brought it back. It's like, Jesus Christ, no, make this.
I mean, it's so bad that Mark Henry can't even do his bit anymore because it's been Orange Cassidy so many times.
Yeah.
He can't even do his. It's time for he had to take away his bit because of him.
Well, it's just throw him every other week on Dynamite, but not like every damn week on Rampage, you know? Just mix it up a little bit. That All Atlantic Championship, it's starting to get a little prestige when you have the title reign go long, but yeah, I mean, give it a rest. Quit putting Orange Cassidy last on Rampage.
I got my soapbox ready for a Rampage review.
I'm sure you do. I'm just frustrated with it. He had a minor fix for a little bit, and then they put it right back in there. It's like, why did you bother? But anyways, let's go ahead and start with Carlos for his thoughts on AEW this week.
So I honestly I feel like it was like the tale of two shows. Like I mean, Dynamite was minus. It had three like 5-star matches, and then you had Rampage where it was just like garbage. It was like all this. It was like it's like developmental talent. I mean, again, like glorified jobbers is what I put it. Overall, like all the opponents. And again, I like a lot of the guys, but it just wasn't what they needed to do to build that audience. MJF and Takeshita was a great match. MJF looked great. Like it was a stark contrast, compared to his match with Ricky Starks. Like, because he doesn't wrestle very much. He just looked on point, and he just looked really good in the match. And I just liked his offense of going after Takeshita's arm. And for me, like I feel like Takeshita has surpassed Eddie Kingston as a People's Champ, and he should eventually take the belt off MJF if it's not going to be Ricky Starks. Again, I know that the Bunny got hurt during her match with Jamie Hayter, but at the same time, like the match to me, like it kind of felt kind of pushed in. And for me, like if you're feeling like you're having to like kind of to force a match, for me, like I wouldn't mind seeing like 2 women's matches on Rampage and have that match on Rampage instead of feeling like we must put a women's match on Dynamite this week because that's what the formula says. Like let it feel organic sometimes. For me, the Guevara Garcia gauntlet thing was stupid. I didn't like seeing how fast Parker and I didn't like seeing how fast those guys got jobbed out. Like Matt Menard and whatever his name. I didn't like that Daddy Magic and Cole Hand. I just thought that was stupid. And then just Jericho, the coming out. It's like again they just repeat the same thing with Jericho with all these damn feuds. And to me, like it should have just been they should have let Ricky just defeat those 3 guys. And then he got the Master Revolution because we all know it's going to happen anyways. I feel like they just changed course because I thought that was the original stipulations. And Jericho probably got in Tony's ear that day and said, "Let's do this instead." It was fucking stupid. It was a waste of fucking time. It was just dumb. And again to me like those 2 matches took away from it. And I thought the Bryan Danielson Rouge match was great. Roosh needs to be a top heel in AEW. I love how they both fought stiff and really brought it out. The MJF promo was something else. I mean, the people again they said people were calling the cops off of that and shit like that. But again, it's like he's a heel for it and he's an asshole. But again, that's AEW does and WWE doesn't. I thought the trios match was a lot of fun. It was a good showing for AR Fox and Top Flight. I love how much the Elite gave to those guys and really let them kind of show their offense. And again, I like even how they protected AR Fox in the end, and that they won with just a roll up. The main event was fucking stupid. I'm sorry, I like the Ass Boys as heels, but to me, it's like Tony Khan does this again and again, where it's like you have this team that's way over, and you fucking ruined it. And the same thing like he did with Wardlow. Wardlow was over like Rover, and then he started putting him in matches with Samoa Joe and took him off TV. And they didn't have him defending the matches it didn't even have him defending the TNT title every week. It was just fucking dumb. And to me, it's like again, if Jeff Jarrett, if the claim gets stuck with fucking Captain Insano fighting Jeff Jarrett, Jay Lethal, and the big Indian guy at Revolution, I'll be pissed because I feel like that's where they're going to go with this. And it's like, oh my god, ridiculous. Quit laughing. You're really making it worse.
Carlos can't hold his straight mean face if you keep laughing at him.
I'm just like oh my god, it's just like I mean I'm glad that Billy is staying with the Acclaim because I mean let them make because they really are over and let them make money with the merchandise. But at the same time, I noticed that that Colton didn't really hit him with the belt. I'm like, is he gonna just turn on them when they get the rematch? Like the whole thing just has me fucking pissed off.
See, me, I just couldn't keep a straight face on this match.
Yeah. We all knew it was coming because the way it closed the show out and everything. Like, oh my fucking god, they're gonna actually do it. Honestly, I wish if he was gonna take the belts off the Acclaim. And I know I'm probably the minority, but I know Ted he'll be with me on this one. I'd rather he put him on Jerry and Lethal. Because those guys, they're just really good heels, and they're not. And I'd rather have seen them have the belts than these guys, because I really would like to see Jay Lethal hold the gold in AEW. And like I was mentioning before, like if this is really going to be done for FTR, like Tony missed the opportunity with FTR when they had the Ring of Honor, the AAA, and the New Japan Gold. Like he should have given them the titles then, So if this is all being done just for them to drop the belts to FTR, it's a little too late for me. As far as Rampage goes, I feel like I do like seeing, I love that Mox is, seeing these matches. TK should have put the, and then my other thought before we go on this is, again, if Bryan Danielson isn't going to win the title at Revolution, I feel like Tony Khan should have put the title on him, at Grand Slam, because I feel like Bryan, even though he doesn't want the title, Bryan Danielson deserves to have the title reign in AEW. And I liked what Mox did with the title, but again, like seeing all this now and how good he's wrestled, she needs to have the AEW title at some point. And again, this Rampage, I wasn't really feeling this episode. To me, it was just 4 matches featuring strong acts against glorified jobbers. And again, I like Kip Sabian and I like Butcher and the Blade, but they're glorified jobbers at this point. They don't really win. The Trios main event was the Trios main event was entertaining, and so was the Orange Cassidy match. But again, I knew that they weren't going to win. And again, that's even without reading spoilers. It's just like, give me at least one match where I can believe that someone else is going to win the match, and that's what they need to start doing with Rampage. And for me, Revolution is 3 weeks away, and they have a lot of tickets to sell for that, and they have a lot of tickets to move for the Cow Palace and the Chase, as well. And I would just like to see the card shaping up more. I feel like, and especially with the roster that AEW has, there's really no excuse. We only have one match confirmed. And then 2 other matches, Jericho and Starks and Moxley and Heyman, that we think are going to happen. And they only have 5 pay-per-views a year. They've had 3 months to build this, and it's just Tony Khan needs to do better with this. And again, if you are going to have if you're going to have someone beat the Ass Boys, have it be Darby Allin and Sting. Let them win the belts at Revolution. And again, I don't want to talk about the claim thing anymore. I'm just going to get more upset. That's all I got for AEW.
All right, Will, let's see if you can calm the nerves a bit here.
Well, I suppose it's my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
So as far as Dynamite goes, it was definitely, I think, the show of the week.
For sure.
MJF versus Takeshita, like Carlos said, this was an excellent match. Both of them looked really great. I loved the tap out, and I loved how strong MJF came out and wrestled. The Bunny versus Hater, it was an okay match, but again, like Carlos said, there wasn't really that much to it. I do want to see them go further with the Bunny.
Well, it's going to be a little bit because I believe the Bunny got injured in that match too.
Well, yeah. Hater kind of.
I agree with Will. Like, well, she's a great heel. Like, they need to do more with her in general, though. She's fabulous.
I think it was didn't Hater fall on top of freaking Bunny's head?
I think so. Yeah,
I believe that's what happened.
Yeah. No, the Bunny deserves a lot more time. Like Carlos said, she just does. The Gauntlet match, I'm not even going to freaking talk about it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Bryan Danielson versus Roosh. This was a killer match. I loved what they did with Roosh. What Carlos said, that he's definitely needing to be pushed as the big heel, is dead on. Like, Roosh killed it. Top Flight and AR Fox versus the Elite. Carlos kind of took it from me on that one. It was an insane match, and it was great for all of them. I do want to see Top Flight eventually hold the gold. And I guess we'll get to the elephant. The Guns versus the Acclaimed. The only thing I can really say about this is the Guns are looking a lot better, but I don't believe that those titles should have gone to the Guns. Not at all.
No, it should have went to a much better team.
Yeah, no. This match was so stupid it had me actually sitting at home laughing.
Top Flight probably would be more deserving than the Guns.
That's where I was thinking it should have gone with it, because Top Flight's they're really at the top of their game right now. The Guns have a lot.
Or even having like a heel Lucha Bros come back, and then have them beat them, and then have Top Flight beat them eventually for the titles. Because that's a great tag team they're not even using right now.
I would have even went as far as saying Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I agree. They're doing great work, and they get that go away heat.
Yeah, I just think there's way too much that the Guns still need to do to develop, and I'm over the whole Guns versus the Acclaimed thing. Just kill it, dump it. Rampage. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they changed the beginning images of this. Statlander is no longer the featured female off at the beginning.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yeah, no, now it's Jade Cargill, so...
Well, deservedly so,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah. I mean...
And who knows when Statlander's going to come back, so...
That was my main concern about it, is she really going to be out a lot longer? Because if she is, that's going to...
Well, nobody really knows her contractual status either, so...
Yeah, it's just...
Well, plus, I mean, you got to wait till you got to make sure she's healthy too before you push her again, because this is twice now that she's gone out on injury. I mean, I love her, don't get me wrong, but you got to make sure she can withstand it.
Well, yeah, they threw her in big pushes as she immediately came back, and it's killed her both times, literally.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it before. She is my favorite female superstar. I agree with you guys. The time needs to be taken for her to heal. As far as the programming, what was it, Carlos? Boo. Yeah. Just boo.
Boo, yeah.
The first match, I did like it. Yeah. Like you said, they've turned 3 really good guys into jobbers.
Glorified jobbers, yeah. How they've been booked.
As far as the following 2 matches go, nope, not even going to discuss it. This was crap. It was crap.
Hey, don't pick on Dolph's little brother like that.
I was jealous of his tan. Really good. I was like, damn, what's up, Hollywood Hunk? Jericho Co's did him some good, but he deserves better too because he's entertaining as fuck. Like, give him a win every so often. Shit.
Yep.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's my irritation with it is they really screwed the pooch with these 2 matches. It just there was nothing to them. As far as the Orange Cassidy versus Lee Moriarty, the only thing I really took away from that is that Moriarty is just looking good.
Yeah, he improves each and every time.
Oh, yeah, he's getting his facials down and the way he grabs the glasses. He is entertaining, but again, he deserves better than being a glorified jobber.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think he could have done that on his own and not be with the firm, if you can call him the firm anymore.
Honestly, for this night, I think they could have got away with just bringing out the Blackpool Combat Club and just interviewing him for an hour, because this was a crap night.
Yeah.
Like, again, build. They need to build. Like I said, like I was saying, build the pay-per-view more. And the one thing I would like to see for AR Fox and Top Flight is put the Ring of Honor 6-man titles on them. And then break up the embassy. Like, let Khan go back to being with Shane Taylor Promotions, and let Brian Cage just be a single star.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with Rampage on myself. You got a 1-hour program. You better find a way to get the fans entertained to keep wanting more. Because if you keep booking Rampage like that, it's just going to be nothing like Superstars back in the 80s and 90s.
Especially when you're putting Jim Ross on there too. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I mean, do Jim Ross a little better too, because he's probably thinking, "What the fuck?
What the fuck exactly?
Who's booking this shit?" I could see it. I'm sure he doesn't care because he's getting near retirement. But yeah, if I was a commentator, I'd be asking Tony, "What the fuck are you doing here?" Because you've got an hour program. We're trying to find ways to make it a longer program, but we can't because if you keep booking it like this, no one's going to want to keep tuning in. So if you don't keep the fan interest on that, Rampage, not only is it just going to keep being an hour, you're going to lose ratings, demographics, everything. And
I mean, they could have.
It's going to go right straight to the fucking toilet.
They could have at least brought Paul White out and smashed everybody.
Yeah,
and that would have been more entertaining
for sure.
But again, they could have. But like Dynamite was so overloaded. Like they could have just had one of those matches on Rampage. Like there was so much on Dynamite.
I think if they were to take like a couple of matches from this week's Rampage, throw it on Dynamite, and a couple of matches from Dynamite onto Rampage.
Exactly, it mixed it. Yes, exactly. They could have put the Danielson Roosh match on Rampage.
Yeah, I mean, right there, you would definitely make Rampage a hell of a lot more interesting.
Exactly, and to me too. Like again, it's one of those things where Tony Khan's just been worried about putting on like banger matches every week, but he's not really building towards the pay per view. It's like, dude, you got 3 weeks now. This should already all this stuff should be intertwined. We should already know like 6 of the matches for Revolution. We don't even have that yet.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of like being like Bischoff, just chasing the ratings right now. And if you were building a natural card of Revolution and it was like you can't miss, it would just the card would just naturally flow, and it would be 2 programs that people would naturally want to watch right now.
And now it's time for our top 10 for the week. Mine's going to be interesting just because of that snafu with Hulu this week. So it may not match up to both of yours, but we'll try to give it a whirl.
Mine was pretty different this week.
So. Mine was very AEW heavy, so.
Oh, I'm sure. All right. Well, without any further ado, each one, we'll just go ahead and go from 10 to 1 per person. So, Carlos, why don't you go ahead and give us your 10 to 1 there?
So, at number 10, I got Becky Lynch. At number 9, I got Zoe Starks. At number 8, I got AR Fox and Top Flight. At number 7, I got The Elite. At number 6, I got The Usos. At number 5, I got Roosh. At number 4, I got MJF. At number 3, I got Bryan Danielson. At number 2, I got Paul Heyman. And number 1, I got Cody Rhodes.
All right. Will?
All right. My number 10, Young Bucks. Number 9, Top Flight. Number 8, Blackpool Combat Club. Number 7, Lee Moriarty. 6, Madcap Moss. 5, Santos Escobar. 4, Roosh. 3, Becky Lynch. 2, Zoe Stark. And my number 1, which this one kind of just blew me away, MJF.
Oh, not as much as my number 10's going to blow everyone away here.
I thought you were going to say the ass boys for a second. I was like,
No, they're my number 1 this week. No, just kidding.
Oh, you asshole. you already ordered your shirt off AEW shop, huh?
Wow.
I think he just wants to fight.
He's got a little bit of rage in him this week. I'm getting a little scared here. Normally, this is something we expect out of Heather, but not Carlos. But
gotta make that for her.
Damn.
I'll be making some kind of fun signs for Dynamite.
Sweet. Make sure you get the hype Brian Howard going, and we'll figure out a nickname for Heather. We need to get her something going here.
I'm not going to call her Usi.
No, me either. I'm going to behave. But anyways, my number 10, Chelsea Green.
Nice.
I'm giving her kudos for the way she's debuted, and she pulled double duty this week. She worked both Raw and SmackDown, so I'm sorry. I think she was worthy mention.
I like it.
So, my number 9 went to Angelo Dawkins. My number 8, Sheamus and Drew McIntyre. My number 7 went to AR Fox and Top Flight. My number 6 went to Jamie Hayter. Number 5, Konosuke Takeshita. My number 4, Montez Ford. Number 3, Becky Lynch. Number 2, MJF. And my number 1 went to Carmelo Hayes. Yeah.
They're all different.
Yeah, they're much different compared to maybe a couple of aren't so much, but yeah.
Well, I mean, mine was also AEW heavy, and it wasn't that great of a showing for the women this week. It kind of sucked.
No, it wasn't.
No,
honestly, I actually put Dabba-Kato in my top 10 first, and I'm like, I need another woman, so I give it to Becky Lynch instead.
Yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, I thought he looked really good.
And see, I didn't get this. That was one of the matches not on there this week on the Hulu On Demand.
Yeah.
I was shorted Dabba-Kato and Dante Chen, Isla Dawn, and Tatum Paxley.
You didn't miss much of that one.
Lyra Valkyria and Valentina Feroz. And Stacks against Odyssey Jones. Those 4 matches were not on the.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So pretty much like the whole middle of the show.
Yeah, I mean,
besides Carmelo and JD.
I mean, anybody who uses Hulu to go back to watch the on demand really got screwed this week, especially if you're a diehard NXT fan. It was pretty messed up. There's just
they don't need to show all the recaps and shit like that. That like cut all that shit out.
yeah, I agree. Anyhow, well, why don't we go ahead and get right to our weekly shout outs? I'll start with Will. Do you have any this week?
My biggest shout out's actually just going to go to Heather. Wishing her well. Hope everything gets better for her. It's going to take some time, and we're okay with that.
Carlos?
So again, let's shout out Jess, who's usually on this. Jess is usually supporting us. I'll shout out Heather's Vader from Wish, and then also NWO Machine, Roth, Infrared Art, Jason, JK Roll Tide, Lorenzo Santos, J Lorenzo, Patty Magic 96, and then also J Henry 79, and then Alan Thesis 23, and then also Dakota, the real BTW1.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Of course, you'll shout out Teddy Hillbilly Hillbilly, so our good friend Ted Hillbilly.
Awesome. I'd like to shout out our friends there at the Wrestling with the War, which I guess used to be known as Wrestling with the Truth, but
I've been listening every week.
Yeah, at WWTT Pod is still their Twitter handle, so give them a listen when you can. Same with Austin Boyer with the Wrestling World. But also want to give a shout out to some of my favorites on the Good Pods app. Fan in the Van, he does a really wonderful job twice a week with not just his original, but he's doing Steeler Talk once a week. So give him a listen if you're a Steelers fan. Also, Today We Laughed and Learned, Chris and Deb, they always do a wonderful job on their podcast. They just always have an episode that's just going to make you laugh your ass off because They
remind me like of Kathy Lee, and like I picture with like big wine glasses, like just having a good time.
Yeah, that would definitely be a dinner date to go listen to those two.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh shit. But I want to give a shout out to my wife, Sarah K. Hoppy, for coming in and listening to us for a little bit. She was on her lunch break from her office job here at the house, so thank you, babe. Love you more than anything. But yeah, thank you to Gil Mary Gomez, one of our listeners out there in Puerto Rico. She chimes in every once in a while in the timelines, so she's a really huge Cesaro fan too. So
nice.
Give her a follow.
I love his theme.
I have a hard time getting that damn thing out of my head every time I listen to it.
Yeah,
it'll stay in
and
my.
Him and then also Will Washington for his Death Runner. We sing those all the time.
Well, do you remember Barry Horowitz?
Yeah.
And
of course.
He had that thing that was like the same thing I think was on Tetris or something, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't not get that out of my head anymore. And now every time I play Tetris, that's all I think of is Barry Horowitz. I'm like, shit.
You start stopping yourself on the back?
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, no shit. I need to go find Hakushi and train him, so. But, yeah. Now I kind of gotten away. Yeah, thank you to each and every one. Oh, there's one more I wanted to bring up. Patrick Pucci. He's always giving us a shout here and there, and thank you for your support, Patrick. We always appreciate you as well every time you retweet and like our stuff, so thank you. And that's going to pretty much do it for us. We want to say thank you to Libsyn for hosting this podcast and providing it to every available audio platform there is. You can go visit our website at www.wrestlingfansinsight. Spelled.
Yeah, you need to update that one. I was like,
what?
It says like enjoy later podcast and it says the state's like December on there.
Oh, yeah, I need to fix that. But anyhow, go visit our website www.wrestlingfansinsight.com. Insight spelled INCITE. You can find your favorite audio platform link on our webpage there. We're available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Deezer, Ghana, YouTube, and much more. If you like our podcast and want to be notified of our latest releases, please subscribe to our page, thewrestlingfansinsight.com, or whichever audio platform you listen on. And while you're at it, if it's possible, give us a 5-star rating and review. We'd be happy to read your review on future recordings. You can follow, interact with us on Twitter. William, your Twitter handle?
At William Hoppe, Hoppe 8.
Right, Carlos?
My baloney has a first name.
Oh, boy.
So my regular one is at C2 the LOS 77, and then also my nonprofit is at Conquer the Now.
Yeah, my 2 handles, I have the podcast account at WF Insight Podcast, or you can reach me on...
WWE Junkie, right?
Hey. And you can reach me on my personal at John, John, WF Insight. If you're on Facebook, look for our group, The Fans of Pro Wrestling. And lastly, if you'd like to leave us a text message or voicemail feedback on our line, our number is 385-367-4772. And we hope you enjoyed this week's program. We'll be back next Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on Twitter Space. And before we totally leave, Carlos, your Super Bowl prediction?
Eagles, like I think that was a score predict. I think 34 to 31 or something like that.
Ooh, so you got it close too.
Yeah.
I know you're not watching it, so I'm not even going to ask you.
I wouldn't even bother talking to me about it.
but I'm along the lines with Carlos. I'm saying Eagles by 2 points. So, anywho, yeah, we'll see you all next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern, here on Twitter Space. Have a good week, everyone.